Hey guys, how you doing? It's Sean from Ridesharing101.com. Hey, I had a good friend. She got into a car accident a couple of days ago, and it kind of occurred to me that I should do a vlog about what happens if you get into an accident. So I think I'm going to do this in two parts. But before I get into it, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not giving you legal advice. I need to put that disclaimer in. If you need legal advice, by all accounts, go to an attorney, hire an attorney, seek out an attorney. I am not one. This is not legal advice. This is just my opinion and some of my experience thrown in. And basically, what I am telling you is when the accident is not your fault. I'm talking about accidents that are the other person's fault and where basically you're not seriously injured. What they call, you have soft tissue injuries, where basically you just have some aches and pains. If you're in an accident and you have a concussion, you've torn like ligaments or something, you've broken bones, get a lawyer that you trust, get an attorney that you trust, and forget about this video. Consult, once you trust the attorney, you make your arrangements and you use that attorney, and I hope you're safe and everything works out. Okay, so having said that, I know this kind of cuts down on a lot of examples, but basically, if you do something stupid and run a red light and hit somebody, you need an attorney. Get one, okay? That's my recommendation. Okay, so let's say you're at a red light, you get rear-ended. Generally, whenever you get rear-ended, unless for whatever reason you're driving backwards, it's always the other person's fault. So let's say somebody runs a stop sign, T-bones you, somebody hits you from behind at a red light. Okay, some things to note. First thing, grab your phone. Grab your phone and turn on the video mode. First thing you want to do is get out of the car, take a picture of your car, the damage, get the other person's license plate, and get a picture of the driver. And just say, and hey, are you okay? Ask them, are you okay? And they might be, oh, I'm kind of, whatever, I'm banged up. Are you okay? I hit my head. I got banged up. I got a few bumps. You never want to say, hey, I'm okay. You don't know. Your adrenaline is pumping. You're boom, 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 boom. And you might not feel a lot of this stuff for a day or two. Because your adrenaline is, when you get into an accident, it's so like, oh my gosh, what just happened? I got into an accident. So, first thing, camera, take a picture. The damage, but get the license plate, get a picture of the driver. Then what I would do is, if you've got a pocket, put the phone in the pocket with the camera facing out. And tell the other driver, hey, okay, since you're okay, let's pull over and exchange information. You want to generally pull over. You don't want to be in the middle of the intersection blocking traffic. One of the things to tell you is you pull over and deal with the damage. What I would recommend is, the first thing you do is you take your phone back out, you call 911, and you say, hey, I have been in an accident. And they will say, are you injured? Do you need an ambulance? And you say, I got banged up a bit. I hit the steering wheel. My head hit the window, whatever. But no, I don't believe anybody has any broken bones. And they will usually say, at least in the San Francisco Bay Area, they will tell you, if nobody has been seriously injured, we don't have enough officers to respond, so just exchange the information and call your insurance company. That's fine. But at least you are now on record. They save all the 911 calls. So you're on the record of saying, hey, I'm in an accident. A driver just T-boned me or rear-ended me. They have the stamp at the time. They have the intersection. You'll tell them I'm at Broadway and 4th or wherever the heck it was. And the operator will say, are you injured? Are you seriously injured? Do you need an ambulance? And you're on record as saying, I don't believe anything's broken, but I hit my head on the window or I hit the steering wheel. There's a record now of you saying that you've kind of what happened. And you want that. You want a record. Okay. So you go back and you exchange information. If the driver has all the information, it's good. Make sure you take a picture of the driver's license, you get his telephone number, his insurance information, and a copy of the registration on the car. Now, if the driver says, hey, is there any way, I'm really sorry about what happened. Yeah, it's my fault. Is there any way we can take care of this off the books? I don't need another accident on my record. They're going to jack up my rates. You say, I'm sorry, no. Never do it. If somebody says, hey, can we do this off the books? I can't afford my insurance rates to be raised. That's a red flag. That says that this person is a bad driver and has been in accidents before. You don't want to handle anything off the books. That means that this person is less than maybe 100% reliable. I had a buddy, somebody tapped his car. He said, hey man, can we do this off the books? They exchanged information and, hey, we don't need to call, please, this, that, the other thing. And basically when his insurance company, the guy's insurance company called the other guy who hit him, said, no, it never happened. No, I didn't hit him. Oh, it must have been in a parking lot. I don't know what he's talking about. And the guy lied. And then, my friend now has to deal with it in a different way. But basically he's on it and he's a pretty smart guy. So, but you don't want to do that. You don't want to do something off the books unless it's a little love tap and maybe the guy says, hey, I'm really sorry. Tell you what, I've got $1,500 or $1,000 in cash. Can I just give this to you and we go our separate ways and everything's okay? If that's something that you want to do, you can. I had a friend had an old van that got hit and the guy's like, hey, I'm really, really sorry. Are you okay? And everybody was all right. Look, I've got $700. Can I just give you $700? And it's a 20-year-old van. I think he probably paid a few hundred for it. It barely ran, and he was okay with that. Whether you want to do that is up to you. I wouldn't recommend doing it. To each his own. Now, so let's say you've got all the information. It's good. Oh, well, first, let's backtrack. Let's say you tell the guy, no, I don't want to do an off-the-books deal. And he's getting kind of squirrely and maybe he doesn't have insurance. If he doesn't have insurance, you get back on the phone, you call the cops because that's a red flag and that's uninsured motorist. Call the cops. Hey, 911, I've just been in an accident. The guy hit me. He doesn't have insurance. I think he's going to try and flee the scene. Basically, if anybody flees the scene, if they leave the scene without giving you the information, or if they're like, hey man, you stopped short. You were going too slow. I'm not going to pay you. You call the cops, have them come say the guy is fleeing the scene, and generally they take your side every time because they've basically left. You're there with damage. You've taken a picture of the phone. You got the person's, picture and the license plate. You're covered. So if you think the guy's going to flee, you call the cops. Get back in your car, maybe so they don't hear, and say, hey, I think this guy's going to flee the scene, yada, yada, yada. Okay. But let's say the guy is, or gal is cool, you've exchanged information. And by the way, don't yell at the other person. What the hell were you doing? It's never good. Maintain. You might be upset, but in the end, cool heads prevail. So, you call your insurance company. Generally, they have a place that they use. Geico, Farmers, State Farm, all those places. So they have a shop that they're linked to. They'll send a tow truck. They'll tow it to the shop. A lot of times, if it's during daylight hours, like 8 to 5, there's a car rental place in there. And most people, your insurance policy, even though it's the other person's fault, they will have a rental car agent and they'll hook you up with a rental car. Normally you have I think you can rent a car up to like $25 or $30 a day, and they usually will cover that for the duration of the repair. The only thing is you need to have a credit card, and usually it has to have like a they put a deposit of like $100 down, or not a deposit, but they'll hold $100 on the credit card, just in case you return the car, let's say super dirty or on empty, and they need to fill up the tank. So generally, it's best if you use the recommended shop. You don't have to. If you've got somebody that you really, really like, you could tow the car to their shop, but most places, most insurance companies are going to require 2 estimates. Because basically, if you need work, if it's the rear section, that's a standard cost, and they know it's 2.74 hours to replace that based on the hourly rate of the shop. It's all computerized. Boom, they send it in. So, but generally, they will require 2 independent estimates. If you take it to their shop, you don't need that. So, they will generally call you when the car is ready. You go down, you pick it up. You're going to have to pay a deductible, even if it's the other guy's fault. And the insurance company, your insurance company, will go after them for the deductible. They will ask them for it. Normally, the other company pays it. But until that happens, you will need to pay it and you'll get reimbursed. Okay? So, that's a few brief parts on the car side. Next video, I'll talk to you about the pain and suffering part, and that's the part where you can get a little bit of cash, depending on what's going on. So, okay, I hope this has been helpful. It's Sean from Ridesharing101.com. Thanks.